One of my subscribers has asked me to rebuild the Tennessee Titans. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys like and or subscribe. Let's see if we can get this video to 100 likes. I would appreciate that. But this is what we got going on for the team. Will Levis already being 25 years old as a year 2 player. Kind of crazy. I didn't know that. I thought it was like 23 going into his rookie season. But still, I'm surprised that he doesn't have like star dev here. 72 overall wouldn't be a terrible overall for him. But I really don't think he was that terrible to where he deserved normal development. But either way, hopefully we can progress him in this simulation. I really don't think the Titans had a bad offseason. You got Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears as a 1-2 duo. I like Tajay Spears a little bit better than Tony Pollard just because of his youth. Tony Pollard's 27. I like Tony Pollard as a rotational back in real life, but for now, I'm going to keep Tajay Spears as the number 2, and then probably in year number 2, I'm going to put Tajay Spears as the 1. D-Hop is still great. Hopefully he doesn't wash out due to his age. You never know. Calvin Ridley was not a bad signing, especially since it was only a 4-year contract. About the same time Will Levis's contract will be ready to sign whenever his contract ends. So really don't think it was bad long-term. They had the money to give it to him, and they did. You got Tyler Boyd, Treylon Burks. You traded A.J. Brown for Treylon Burks. I know I rip on the Titans every time. Oh, well, it was different management. I don't care if it's different management. You have a professional management team that made that decision. Either way, they got J.C. Latham in this draft. Last draft, they spent a first-round pick on Peter Skoronski. Really need a total revamp on this offensive line. Still need to fix the right side. Getting a Cushenberry in free agency wasn't a bad move, but everyone wants, I know a lot of the Titans fans wanted Joe Alt. Really unfortunate that he went to the Chargers instead of them taking Malik Neighbors, which would have been solid for them anyways. But J.C. Latham, I don't think will be bad. Then you got Chigozamo. I never know how to pronounce this. I always just call him Chig. But defensively, yes, I moved into a 4-3, and then 3-4s in Madden suck. So let me fix this real quick. Okay, now that I've fixed that, I'm going to move to Tavondre Sweat to the number 2 here at defensive tackle. Again, 3-4s in Madden are terrible. I can never get them to properly work. But this is what we got going on. Their secondary really improved in the offseason. You got 2 veterans in Quandre Diggs, Jamal Adams. Amani Hooker isn't bad, but for now, I'm just going to keep Jamal Adams there. Can I move Amani Hooker to linebacker, actually? 210, 5'11 wouldn't be the most unrealistic thing. I would like to have him there, but is it really worth it? Let's just see how he does at linebacker for the first year. I know it seems completely unrealistic moving all these guys around, but it's my rebuild. Amani Hooker's just going to try out linebacker. If it doesn't work out, I'll move him back to safety. But either way, I wanted to get some XP here. L'Jarius Sneed was a great pickup in the offseason. Then you also got Chidobe Awuzie here, and then you got Roger McCrary and Caleb Farley, who hasn't really developed the way you wanted him to. Got Tavondre Sweat in the second round. I think that was a steal of a pick. Could have been a late first-round pick, but you traded up for him. Or did you trade up for him? Might have fell to you in the second round. But either way, where is Jeffrey Simmons? There we go. We got that there, and then Tavondre Sweat. I guess he's not going to be starting over Sebastian Joseph Day. I don't know if I like that. Either way, this is what we got going on. Power halfback, third down back, and let's move him up. And we got Amani Hooker there. Everything else looks pretty good. Moving up to Tavondre Sweat. And yep, long intro. Either way, just want to say that the Titans, I think, are a very underrated team. I think the AFC is a little bit too stacked for them to make a playoff run, unless, of course, that's not accounting injuries. Of course, if Aaron Rodgers, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert all get injured again, then yeah, you have a more likely chance. But it just depends if teams stay healthy. But for now, you're number 1. I don't expect us to make the playoffs, but let's see how we do at the midseason mark. And we are 6-0, top of the division. Crazy. And I'm already sure some of you are wondering how I did it. These are the playbooks I'm currently running. This is why I don't run a 3-4, because 4-3s work way better. But looking in our division here, we are clearing this division. The Texans are 2-5. That's crazy. We have a halfback breakout challenge. Is this for Tony Pollard? Get Tajay Spears 100 rushing yards and 1 touchdown to increase his development rate. Okay, cool. I don't think he's going to do that at the second string back. Probably not going to move him to the starter regardless, but I guess we'll see. For the scouting national focus, I need linebacker. And for the players ready to negotiate, Jamal Adams doesn't want to be here and he wants $10 million a year. Absolutely not. Tyler Boyd, I really don't need him either. He's about to turn 30 years old. Dang, he aged quickly. I remember whenever this dude was like 24. But yeah, I guess I'm just going to have Treylon Burks there instead. Caleb Farley, I wouldn't mind. He wants to be in a Super Bowl chase, considering that we are 6-0. We might actually be there, and his interest may increase by the end of the year. So I'm going to wait on that. Even though he isn't that great in real life due to injury, He is a 75 overall. He's young. He has star dev. He'll be nice depth either way. DeAndre Hopkins is going to regress into oblivion. He wants $20 million a year, and he's only going to regress, and he doesn't have an interest with the team. Sebastian Joseph Day, I'm just not interested in. Quandre Diggs, maybe at the end of the year, depending on how far he regresses. Elijah Molden, really not that bad of depth, but I don't really need him. All these players I'm not really hugely interested in, and Ryan Stonehouse, he just doesn't want to be here either. He wants to be close to home. Honestly, I'm just going to overpay for a punter. I know that seems crazy, but I want him anyways. He's young. He has star dev. He's a long-term punter for us. So I don't care. I have the money to do it. Everyone else here, Nick Folk, he's about to be 40. I'm good. Traylon Burks, I'm not going to accept that option. 10-7, top of the division here as we get the 4 seed. Wow, we had a big fall off in the second half of the season, going from 6-0 to 10-7. But hey, I'm glad we made the playoffs, really. For the stats and awards, Will Levis is a baller other than that pass rating. 4th best offense in the NFL, 5th best defense here. Yeah, that's outrageous. 27 interceptions is outrageous, but we could cook with this. Really good touchdowns, really good yards. This is a Jameis Winston type season, but yeah, we could cook with this. 27 interceptions is just outrageous. But Tony Pollard, 11 touchdowns, 4.1 per carry, 1,000 yards. I'm going to start Tajay Spears in the next season. He had 7 touchdowns with only 28 attempts. That's crazy. He wasn't even the goal line back either. Receiving wise, Calvin Ridley, 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns. DeAndre Hopkins, 5 touchdowns, almost 1,100 yards. Tyler Boyd, 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns. And then Chig with 7 touchdowns, 700 yards. Great ball distribution. Kenneth Murray with 114 tackles. Tackles for a loss, 17 for Jeffrey Simmons, 9 for Amani Hooker. Wow, Amani Hooker, 98 tackles as a linebacker here. And then 9 tackles for a loss, 4 sacks, 3 interceptions. He did really good at linebacker. Sacks, 9 for Jeffrey Simmons, 11 for Adrian Key. That's surprising. 8.5 for Harold Landry. Interceptions, 7 for Chidobe Awuzie, or is it Chidobe Awuzie? Either way. 3 interceptions for Amani Hooker and Jamal Adams and L'Jarius Sneed. Safeties on the team is 1 for James Williams. I don't know who that is. And then defensive touchdowns is 1 for Quandre Diggs. Can we beat the 12-5 Buffalo Bills to move on to the divisional round here in year number 1? And the answer is no. First round exit. Let's move into the offseason. And the Ravens beat the Saints in the Super Bowl, who have Derek Carr, so that's surprising to see them there. 41-23, Lamar Jackson wins the Super Bowl MVP. Patrick Mahomes wins the league MVP and the Offensive Player of the Year. I guess nobody gets any awards except Mahomes. And then anyone else for the upgrades? Well, anyone else? No Titans here for the awards. In the AFC South, a bunch of Texans players retire, but no Titans retire. For the team upgrades, Will Levis doesn't get a dev up. That's fair. He threw 27 interceptions, but either way, Tony Pollard's regressing, and then DeAndre Hopkins drops down to an 83 without the boost. Yeah, and even Calvin Ridley is regressing here. How old is he? He's 30 already? And then there's no real upgrades on offense at all. And then defensively, Jeffrey Simmons goes to X Factor. Chidobe Awuzie here goes to Superstar Dev. I liked Amani Hooker at linebacker. He had a good season. I'm going to keep him there. Adrian Key doesn't go up to Superstar after having 11 sacks. He's only a 74 overall without the boost, but he's already 29. For the team upgrades, Jamal Adams, I'm just not going to keep. He's older. He doesn't want to be here. Traylon Burks, I'm not going to accept this as an option. Tyler Boyd is a no. Caleb Farley has interest with the team. This is why I waited. Going to give him a 4-year contract. Only $4 million a year to be a depth player. I mean, oh no, he wants to be on a new team. I'll go pick him up in free agency anyways. That's a stupid that he didn't accept. I extended his contract and he said no. D-Hop, I'm going to let walk. He just doesn't want to be here. Sebastian Joseph Day, I'm not interested in. Quandre Diggs, I'll do another year with him. Only $4 million. He resigns. And then everyone else here, all these other extras, I'm just not really interested in. After free agency, I got Rob Havenstein as a 1-year left tackle, got Derek Forrest, who replaced Jamal Adams, and then I got Caleb Farley back on a similar contract to what I paid him before. I'm looking at a wide receiver here. I don't have D-Hop. Calvin Ridley's regressing, and then Tyler Boyd also walked out on us, so I only have Traylon Burks. Junior Craig here, he has C to F awareness. That worries me, but he's 6'3", physical, out of Florida here. Needs to work on simple concentration drops. Blah, blah, blah. Elite strength, elite jumping, great change of direction is what I'm looking at. Not very fast, but A catch in traffic, A spec catch, B deep route. I'm going to pull the trigger on this. Junior Craig here, out of Florida, has hidden dev, 89 speed, 90 acceleration, isn't crazy, but 95 jumping, 92 change of direction. He looks great. I'm going to move him to the wide receiver 1 immediately. In round number 2, getting a right guard out of Florida, the teammate of our wide receivers, 6'5", 315, hidden dev, 84 strength, 82 jumping, 84 acceleration, A's and B's across the board. He's immediately going to be a starter. And then in the 3rd round, picking up a left end with hidden dev to replace Adrian Key. I know Adrian Key had 11 sacks, but he's 30 now, dude. He's only going to regress. He's a 74 overall. I doubt he goes back-to-back on that. Eric Mooney, hidden dev. He is 6'3", 267, so he's kind of like a defensive tackle, but a little bit lighter than one, so he's going to start over Adrian Key. Also, this linebacker class has just been total buns ever since I entered the second round, so I'm just going to have to try again on it for next season. So in the first round, Junior Craig, 74 overall, and then in the second round, Jalen Leslie, a right guard, 72 overall. Eric Mooney, I got in the fourth round, not the third round, 66 overall, but still, I'm going to start him. Then the rest of these guys I didn't pick. Now, this is the team after the draft here. Let me refresh it one more time. Craig, Junior Craig is going to be the #1 receiver here. Burks is going to be in the slot. Ridley is going to be the #2. He's regressing. Going to give Will Levis another shot here. Tajay Spears, I want as the #1 back in this season, so we're going to start him. Leslie's going to be up, and then honestly, the offense looks a lot better than the previous season just because the free agency signing. Mooney, I mean, I know I said I was going to start him, but since he's a 66, if he was like a 70, I would start him. Adrian Key put up 11 sacks. I don't think he's going to last much longer, but I can't ignore that he led the team in sacks. So I'm going to keep him as the starter. Mooney's just going to be the #2, and he can play depth defensive tackle if he wants to as well. Need new linebackers. Cedric Gray I should have started from the beginning, so I'm going to move him there. Roger McCrary's a second string safety apparently. And then Amani Hooker, Kenneth Murray, Cedric Gray, let's move up. Everything else looks good. I guess I'll put Cedric Gray in the slot as well. I guess he'll rotate between the two. Then Tajay Spears is getting the #1 role this year. So we like all that. You'll love to see it. Anyways, year #2, let's move into the midseason mark. At the midseason mark, we are 3-4, and we are 3rd in the division. But we do have a linebacker breakout challenge here. Let's see what this is. Get James Williams 2 tackles for a loss to upgrade his dev trait. Okay, sure. And I forgot to do the one with Tajay Spears, so I doubt I'm going to remember this one. Scouting national focus, I'm just going to keep it at middle linebacker. And for the players ready to negotiate, Roger McCrary doesn't want to be here. He wants to be in a bigger market. I can't control that. Nashville, I would think, is pretty big, but I overpaid for him. He's going to resign. Chig here, he's young. He has star dev. $7 million a year. He resigns with the team. Amani Hooker, a left outside linebacker, $7 million a year. I'm going to keep him like this. I'll just keep him for the rest of the rebuild. I don't care if it's a 5-year deal. He's going to stay. Traylon Burks, honestly, don't mind. It's a stupid cheap contract, about $5 million a year. He's young. He has star dev. He can play a slot for us. I'm going to keep him around. Super cheap contract. Adrian Key can walk. I don't care how many stats he puts up this season, unless it's like 13 sacks. I'm not going to keep him. He's just going to regress. Kenneth Murray, he's 26. He's about to be 27, normal dev. I'm just not interested. I'd rather start Cedric Gray. Quandre Diggs, I'm probably going to let go this time. Rob Havenstein, probably wouldn't mind at the end of the year. I want to see how far he regresses. I'm going to accept the option on Peter Skoronski. But for now, let's see if we make the playoffs. But before we do that, let's see if we get the breakout challenge for the linebacker. We're coming off a loss to the Seahawks as we are 3-5 now. The defense looked pretty good out there, and James Williams was a big part of that. So James Williams earns 1,000 XP. What? He didn't get a dev up? It literally said dev up. I guess I just got scammed, dude. I don't know if I just read it wrong. Maybe on the off chance I did. But James Williams, how old is this guy? He's pretty young. That would have been pretty nice to have that. But either way, I guess I just got scammed. So let's move into the playoffs. And here we are in the playoffs as we did not make the playoffs, finishing 5-12. And for the stats and awards, Will Levis sucks, dude. 25th best offense in the league. Defensively, 17th. It doesn't make much sense. 3,800 yards, 26 touchdowns, 18 interceptions. Like, his interceptions got cleaned up a little bit, but if his yards and his touchdowns go down, like, it doesn't help. I'm going to move on from Will Levis. I know some people may not want to hear that. He's had 3 years to develop for the team. I don't want him anymore because I only have 4 years to do this rebuild. I can't spend another year on him and then him be a bust and then I only have 1 year to develop a new QB. I'm going to move on. Tajay Spears, 8 touchdowns, 4.0 per carry, 900 yards. I'm going to keep him as the #1. 4 fumbles, though, is crazy. Hopefully he recovers from that. Not many attempts, though. Receiving-wise, Junior Craig, exactly 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns for his rookie season. That's great. Calvin Ridley, 8 touchdowns, 950 yards. Traylon Burks, 700 yards, 5 touchdowns. Cedric Gray with 99 tackles, tackles for a loss, 16 for Harold Landry, 14 for Jeffrey Simmons, 12 for Adrian Key, sacks, 11 for Harold Landry, 6.5 for Adrian Key, 6 for Jeffrey Simmons, 1.5 for Amani Hooker here. Adrian Key is not bad. The age is going to get to him. I'm seriously moving on this season. Interceptions, 4 for Chidobe Awuzie and 4 for L'Jarius Sneed. Safeties on the team, 0 defensive touchdowns. 1 for Quandre Diggs and 1 for James Williams, who seems to be balling. 28-21, the Ravens go back-to-back Super Bowls. I hope this happened in real life because I'm a Ravens fan. Lamar Jackson wins the Super Bowl MVP. Patrick Mahomes wins another league MVP. MVP as well. For the retirements, Charles Leno retires, Mitch Morse, and Brandon Scherf. The entire Jaguars offensive line just left. For the team upgrades, Junior Craig here has Superstar Dev. And it looks like, did he come with this? He won Offensive Rookie of the Year, got a bunch of upgrades, but I don't see a development increase, so it looks like he came with Superstar Dev, so that's a W pick. So we now have our #1 franchise receiver for the rest of the rebuild. I guess Traylon Burks may be a #2 because Calvin Ridley is regressing pretty quickly here as he's 31 and I still have 2 more years left on his contract. Then Tony Pollard's down to an 81 overall without the boost, so Tajay Spears is down to an 81 overall with the morale down, so he's a higher overall. I'm going to keep him as the starter. Leslie has Star Dev, so we're going to keep him as the starter as well. Defensively, Harold Landry goes up to Superstar Dev, but Harold Landry is 30 years old, so that's something to keep in mind. And for the rest of the team, Adrian Key keeps going down in overall, so maybe I'll change him out later, and Quandre Diggs is down to a 74. For the re-signings, Peter Skoronski doesn't want to be here. I don't care. I'm accepting his option, and then Adrian Key can walk, Kenneth Murray can walk, all these other guys here, not really interested in. Rob Havenstein had an interest with the team. I'll re-sign him for another year. Let's see if I can increase this money just for another year with the team to $14 million. He does not want to accept that, so I'll just hit free agency. After free agency, I got Zach Tom as our franchise left tackle. Going to move J.C. Latham out to right tackle. Then I got Jake Moody as a kicker. I offered on more players. Just the free agency this year was looking pretty weak. Didn't really like anyone here. So we get the #3 pick in the draft. The Saints get the #1 pick. Let's see who's on the board here for QBs. And this QB class is unbelievably weak. Ben Torres here is the #1 player in the class, 5'10" as a QB. Out of Iowa here. Skills, A, awareness is great. F, break sack. I mean, he's only 5'10". Accuracies are nothing special. Ben Torres does not look great. I'm not picking him at 3. This guy here, Bobby Fort, 6'1", out of Northern Iowa. What are these Iowa QBs? Nothing special athletically. C, awareness, nothing special. Again, 2 to 3 rounder. Ryan Knowles here, 6'5", no, 6'6", out of Texas Tech. Elite throw power. Maybe this guy, D to F awareness. I'll spend a 2nd round pick on this guy, but that's it. I'm not, maybe Will Levis gets to live another day. I think I'm going to go with this guy to replace Adrian Key. Jay Wilkins here at LSU, 6'3", 260, speed rusher. Goods, greats across the board. B awareness, B finesse moves. Don't need his man coverage or zone coverage to be good. He is a speed rusher archetype. Jay Wilkins, let's see what we have here. At pick #3, B+ pick. Normal dev sucks, but really athletically, he doesn't look bad. Hopefully, he can develop for us. Round #2, Ben Torres is still here in early round 2. Ben Torres, I mean, it's not horrible. A awareness, I mean, if he's still here in early 2nd round, might as well just try on him. Ben Torres, I was going to pick the Texas Tech guy. C pick here, but hidden dev, 86 throw power, has a noodle arm. We got Tua part 2 here, but Tua part 2, 86 acceleration, 77 speed. Like, if you don't have big arm and you're not fast, like, what necessarily are you good at? Let's just try him for the first year. After the draft here, Jay Wilkins is a 72 for a top 3 pick, not what I wanted. Ben Torres is a 70. He's going to be the starter. Rutland I got in the 3rd round, 71. I guess he's going to be depth. Royman I got in the 4th, and then after that I stopped drafting. Royman sucks. And the Falcons are willing to give me a 3rd round pick, trading him to a different conference. I'm not worried about him, but if he balls out, hopefully I won't have to deal with him. So with that being said, I'm going to be signing Marcus Mariota because he has the mentor tag. And this is what we got going on for the next season. Maybe I just trade away Calvin Ridley for someone else. Can I? I mean, I don't really want his contract. Yeah, it's 2 more years with us, almost $30 million a year. I'm not going to do that for a guy who's below an 80 overall, well, at an 80 overall without the boost. So let's see if I can trade him away. And that actually went through. Calvin Ridley in a 5th round pick gets me 23-year-old star dev Troy Franklin, who's only getting paid $1 million a year. Yeah, so Troy Franklin is 3 overalls lower without the morale boost, and I don't have to pay him as much, and he's only going to progress instead of regress. So that was an absolute W trade, in my opinion. So W on my part there. Yes, I'm glazing myself. O-line looks solid. Hopefully the QB is good. I forgot to get a free safety. So can Caleb Farley play up there? I mean, he's got the speed, right? He's a man-to-man archetype. I need more of a zone. Roger McCrary here, he's also man-to-man, but he also has 83 zone archetype. He has 87 man, 87 zone, very balanced. 5'11", 190, maybe a little bit light for a safety, but it's kind of an emergency position, so I'm just going to move him there. I know I could move Amani Hooker back to safety, but at the same time, like Roger McCrary is even a depth safety here, so I don't even think it's necessarily a bad move to put him there. And Amani Hooker's actually been doing good at linebacker. I know it seems unrealistic to put him there, but he's been doing good there at the position switch. I like him a lot there. And then Roger McCrary, I need a safety badly, so that's just an emergency position. And then specialist-wise, Troy Franklin is in the slot. Tajay Spears is going to start over Tony Pollard. Cedric Gray is fine there. And then Morrison, was that the guy that I drafted? No, it was Jay Wilkins here. I'm going to move him down to left end and refresh the roster. And for some reason, it won't move Wilkins down to the rush right end, which is super annoying. Yeah, I have him there. He's a 72. Not crazy, but hopefully, again, he develops, so I'll have to manually move him there. But year number 3, hopefully Torres does good here. 1 in 5. Go Tennessee Titans. Let's go, team. For the scouting national focus, it's just going to be linebacker again, I guess. And for the players we get to negotiate, Tajay Spears, I'll give him player-friendly money, have him re-sign for another season. He's back. Chidobe Awuzie here, I'll do another 1-year contract for him. He doesn't like that. Harold Landry, I'll keep for the remainder of the rebuild. I don't care if it's $14 million a year. He's been doing good for us. Tony Pollard can walk. And then all these other extras, I'm just not interested in. J.C. Latham, I'll accept that option. And surprise, surprise, we didn't make the playoffs, finishing 2-15, bottom of the division. We're going to get the number 1 pick. And for these stats and awards, Ben Torres doesn't look as bad as Will Levis. 19th best offense, 8th best defense here, and he throws 21 interceptions. I mean, he's basically the same thing as Will Levis, except he's putting up more yards and touchdowns than his second year. So, and he also has star dev. Rushing wise, Tajay Spears sucks. 3.6 average. I mean, no fumbles this time, but still. Receiving wise, Troy Franklin, 1,100 yards, 14 touchdowns. Way better than Calvin Ridley, W. And then Junior Craig, 6 touchdowns, almost 1,000 yards. Traylon Burks, 777 yards and 9 touchdowns. Tackles, Cedric Gray, 94. Tackles for a loss, 18 for Harold Landry, 16 for Jeffrey Simmons, 14 for Jay Wilkins. Sacks, 13.5 for Jeffrey Simmons, 12 for Harold Landry, and then 4 for Tavondre Sweat. Only 3 from Jay Wilkins, but this isn't bad for his rookie season, just not top 3 worthy. Interceptions, 5 for Jerry Need, 2 for Cedric Gray, 2 for Roger McCrary at the free safety position. Safeties on the team, 0 defensive touchdowns is 0. Also, Will Levis on the Falcons, 99 pass rating, 3,500 yards, 30 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. So our quarterback had more yards, more touchdowns, but he also threw more interceptions. And I guess Will Levis did have a better season because of the pass rating, but it wasn't crazy. And then receiving wise, let's go check on Calvin Ridley. So it wasn't a huge mistake to trade away Will Levis, because that's not good enough to win me a Super Bowl if I'm being realistic, but neither is Torres. And Calvin Ridley, yeah, that was a mistake, I guess. 19 touchdowns, 1,300 yards. He balled out immediately once he left. But still, Troy Franklin did really well, so I'm not too upset. And the Eagles just can't seem to beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Neither can the Niners. 38-20 as the Chiefs win another Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes wins 3 league MVPs in a row in the simulation and the Super Bowl MVP. Rashee Rice, Offensive Player of the Year. And then anything else for the Titans? No. In the AFC South, Ryan Kelly retires. For the team upgrades, Torres comes with Superstar Dev. There's no way he earned this. And it looks like, yeah, he came with Superstar Dev. You love to see it. So I guess long-term that's better for the team, but we only have 1 year left. Really upsetting that Troy Franklin doesn't go to Superstar Dev after having 4 touchdowns and 1,100 yards, but I'm not going to force it. No other upgrades on offense. Defensively, Harold Landry goes to X Factor. Wilkins doesn't even get Star Dev after having 14 tackles for a loss as a rookie. Is unfortunate. L'Jarius Sneed goes to Superstar Dev. I'm going to need to make a splash to trade for a linebacker of some sort because I have the number 1 pick and I won't be able to develop in time. For the players ready to negotiate, I'll accept the option for J.C. Latham. Chidobe Awuzie, I wouldn't mind him back for another season, so let's just do player friendly with him, and he re-signs with the team. 99 million left to spend. Tony Pollard's down to a 74. He can walk. Everyone else here, not interested in. After free agency, the only guy I could get was Daron Payne. I offered on Kyle Hamilton and Tuli Taloipotes. Both gave them the highest amount of money, and of course, they both said no. Free agency is a lot harder in Madden now. Okay, so this goes through trading away the number 1 overall pick and pick swapping to back to pick 16 for Superstar X Factor middle linebacker Devin Lloyd. I need a middle linebacker. I know this seems desperate. I don't care. I need him. And this goes through too. Trading away pick 16 for Superstar left end Carlos Brothers here from the Commanders, and I know I just spent a top 3 pick on a defensive end. I don't need development. I need my team to perform now, and that's exactly what I'm trading for. And now I'm trading away a 2nd and a 4th round pick for 85 overall center Graham Barton from the Buccaneers. They spent a 1st round pick on him, but they give him up for a 2 and a 4th, even though he's a solid center. I know it seems unrealistic, but I need to make these splashes for the team. So with that being said, I don't really have much draft capital left other than a couple 3rd round picks. So yeah, with that being said, I'm just going to simulate to the next season. And looking at the draft recap, this is what the AI gave me with the first 3rd round pick. They picked a tight end with hidden dev. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea, but sure. And then they picked up bunch of other extras. And now I'm going to be signing Geno Smith just because he has the mentor tag. Now this is the team moving into the 4th and final season. Our tight end has a triple neck. I don't know why they even have that in the game, especially for players that are non-linemen, but either way, this is what we got going on for the team. Honestly, really solid. If I had more time to develop Torres, I would have loved that, but Will Levis just decided to screw me. O-line looks amazing. 87 overall team. Really not bad. Devin Lloyd as an X-Factor, Brothers as a superstar defensive end, X-Factor, and Harold Landry. Really not a bad team around us, just not a super high overall like I would like it to be. Either way, I still think there is a chance for us if I hop into a couple games. But for now, 4th and final season, let's just skip into the playoff. Here we are in the playoffs, 12-5, top of the division here to face the 11-6 Chargers. We are better than them in every way. Let's see if we can beat them after we look at the stats. For the stats, Ben Torres is a baller, 4th best offense in the NFL, 4th best defense. That's what happens whenever you have a superstar QB. You love to see it. And we picked him in the 2nd round. Even if we picked him at pick number 3 in the 1st round, he wouldn't be bad. 4th for league MVP, 3rd in passing yards and in passing touchdowns. Still 10 interceptions, but still not bad. 109 passer rating. And if we compare him to Will Levis doesn't exist. It's Desmond Ridder who throws 21 interceptions. Where is Will Levis? Will Levis is on the Rams, and he had almost 4,000 yards, 38 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Still has an interceptions problem, but 108 passer rating. He has a player tag of bridge QB, and he also still has normal development. So I guess it's really not the worst thing in the world for us to move on from him. And then on the final year of his contract, Bo Nix threw 18 receptions. Calvin Ridley balls out once again on the final year of his contract. 18 touchdowns, 1,200 yards. Still, I'm happy with what I have. We made the playoffs, and our QB is a top 4 QB in the NFL. Treylon Burks, 19 touchdowns, 1,400 yards. This is what you wanted from him from the start. He is amazing. That's superstar to have. Junior Craig, 10 touchdowns, 900 yards. Troy Franklin, fall off from last season, but still 7 touchdowns, 900 yards. Still a good season. Also, Tajay Spears, 4 fumbles, but 13 touchdowns, 4.0 per carry, 1,000 yards. Nothing really special. Defensively, Devin Lloyd with 109 tackles for a loss, 14 for Jeffrey Simmons, 13 for Carlos Brothers. Here is sacks, 16 for Carlos Brothers, 9.5 for Harold Landry, 7 for Jeffrey Simmons. Interceptions, 4 for Devin Lloyd, 4 for Derek Forrest here. Safeties on the team, 1 for Deron Payne. Defensive touchdowns is 0. Can we beat the Los Angeles Chargers to move on to the divisional round, get our first playoff win of the video? And we do. Here to face the 12-5 Buffalo Bills. And of course, I'm going to be hopping into this one. They're going to start out 7-0. The 4th in the running for league MVP only gets 3 points there on that drive. 3 again, but 6-10 game. We need to score a touchdown, guys. That's how we win games. 13-10, finally scoring one before half. 16-10, defense holding strong. The Bills score as soon as I say that, but still 16-3. Defense doing well. Offense, wake up and do something, please. Please do something. I'm sick and tired of the team punting over and over and over again. I'm going to have to try and make something happen here. 1st and 10. Let's see what we have here. I'll throw to X underneath. Let's just get that upfield. Chig gets a 1st down. Let's see what we have on the next down. Let's just go down to Craig here. I was about to say Cheg, but either way, Craig gets another 1st and 10. Is he out of bounds there? I think he is. Craig is pressed up, superstar dev. Let's see if he can get off his guy. He does not. I'm going to go underneath again, get that block up the field, just get out of bounds to Troy Franklin. I know I'm taking these small routes. Either way, I'm moving upfield. I still have 3 timeouts. 1st and 10. Let's see what we have here. I'm going to take the small route again. I know it seems crazy, but I'm just going to take my first time out here with 17 seconds left. 2nd down and 2. Let's see what we have. Maybe just go underneath here to Tajay Spears, move upfield, get out of bounds. Another 1st and 10. 12 seconds left. I'm just chipping away at them. Just want to get down the field as quickly as can and put myself into position. Maybe Chig here will be open. I'm going to be looking for that. I'm just going to take underneath again, and I'm not going to be able to get off in time, but I need to work something up here. I have 8 seconds left. I don't think Torres has much speed here. But let's see what I have. Can I move this down? No. Double team? Yeah, let's do that. Let's double team this outside. Roll out. Look for Chig on this route. Roll out, roll out. I think I could take this. Can I take this? Nope, not going to be able to. 3 seconds left. Let's see what I can cook. Maybe Craig will be open. Do I take that? Onkarokwo won't be there. Let's see the out route with this tight end, and let's see how it goes. Maybe, yes, I think I have him. I got him. Wow! Diving catch from Junior Craig here for the game winner. That was actually so sick. That was so sick. Was it overthrown? That was so nuts. Junior Craig gets the pass. I mean, he gets the pass. Oh my gosh. I guess it is overthrown a little bit, but that's crazy. Beats off his man off the line, and he catches it, brings it down, and brings us home to the conference championship. Here to face the 12-5 New York Jets, but since we beat the Bills, we are here to have home field advantage. Here we are against the Jets. I don't know who the QB is. I don't think it's Aaron Rodgers, but we got a 3-0, now 10-0, now 17-0 start against the Jets, 24-0, absolute humiliation, 31-0 against the Jets. Defense holding strong, offense was going stronger, 34-0, humiliating the Jets. They got a garbage time, 2 garbage time touchdowns. Who cares, dude? Blowout against the Jets, and we're going to be going to the Super Bowl. Craig Brazil is the Jets' new quarterback. Obviously not good enough. And here we are to face the 6-seed Atlanta Falcons who beat the 4-seed Cardinals. And we have to play Desmond Ridder. It could have been Will Levis. That would have been great to see. But for your roster upgrade, Torres goes up to an 89 overall, 94 with the morale, superstar X Factor after his 2nd year in the league. Moving on from Will Levis was the right decision. He seems to be a baller. Traylon Burks goes up to superstar dev. Troy Franklin stays the same. Offensive line looks great. 90 overall team. Brothers has 16 sacks, and he stays at a superstar instead of going to an X Factor. That's surprising. I'm not going to force that. Derek Forrest, though, goes to superstar dev. Great team. Huge turnaround from going to the #1 pick to potentially getting the last pick in the draft now. What a crazy turnaround, going all out with those trades. Really paid off, and the QB just developed marvelously. I don't even know if that's a word. Marvelous in the final season. So let's see if we can beat Desmond Ridder and the Falcons to win the Super Bowl, the Titans' first ever Super Bowl. Here we are against the Falcons. They're going to open up with 3. I don't think there's a way we lose to Desmond Ridder. I mean, he threw 21 interceptions, but I mean, he was a god in Madden 24 simulation. But 13-10 against Desmond Ridder and the Falcons, 13-13. And then we take the first lead of the game, 16-13, 20-16. They take it right back, 23-16. Do not choke this. You got this. You got this. 4th down alert. What did you do? 4th down and 5. Let's see what I can cook up. Got this play called escape here. Maybe Craig gets off. I mean, he's playing a superstar. Burks, maybe Tajay Spears probably is what I'm going to look to. He's got him on that. He's got him. Go. Tajay Spears up the field. 4th and 5 is converted. Going to take my final timeout, and I'm going to jump in, and I'm going to cook here, because it is the final seconds. We got to look to work the sidelines if I can work them. Move out, block up field, go Torres. Get out of bounds, Torres, no! Get out of bounds, get out of bounds. Oh, no, 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 dude, what? I was trying to call a timeout. I was pausing, I was like, get a timeout, dude. I could have had that if I had one more timeout. I thought I was going to get out of bounds too, but they pulled me out. I for sure thought I was getting out there. We're going to lose to Desmond Ridder and the Falcons. Let me see this replay. I thought I was for sure going to go get out there, but I stepped up in the pocket, rolled out. I could have had this flat right here and gotten out of bounds with maybe Chig, but I knew he would have the block. He moved up. Wow. 33. I guess Chig didn't hold the block long enough. It was a good block. I was angling towards the outside, and you could have stretched, man. He could have stretched that arm and pushed it out, but of course the AI is not going to recognize or do that. So close to getting out of bounds. You could have had a real opportunity there. We're going to lose by 4 points. No, not by 4 points. More than that, but still. The Titans are going to lose their 2nd Super Bowl in history. And your Super Bowl MVP is Desmond Ridder. We lost to Desmond Ridder. Brian Callahan, Titans Coach of the Year here. No other awards here for the Titans, but really good video. Unfortunate. If I had another season, I'd probably win the Super Bowl, but I'm really happy with the team that I built. This is a really good team, mainly because Torres stepped up. Tajay Spears wasn't really anything special. Craig was a baller pick. He was a baller for us in that divisional round. Blew out in the conference championship. Really good team here. Really balled out in the final year. I thank you guys all for watching. Let me know which team you want me to do next down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.